The courtroom is silent. Kody Brown stands under the dim lights, his once confident eyes trembling with something between anger and fear. Across the aisle, Christine's gaze pierces through him, cold, certain, unflinching. The judge's gavel hits once, echoing through the room like thunder. No one expected it to come to this. The sister-wives' family torn apart not by love but by law. And as secrets unravel, one truth will shake everything they ever believed about family loyalty and betrayal. Before we dive in, tell me, what do you think really broke the Browns apart? Love, ego, or something darker? Comment below, because by the end of this case, your answer might change forever. Courtroom smells faintly of wood polish and anxiety. Every sound feels louder than it should: the soft shuffle of papers, the click of a pen, the tight cough of a nervous witness. Kody Brown sits at the defense table, his golden hair now dulled by stress, his jaw clenched so tight it looks painful. Across from him, Christine stares ahead with quiet, almost regal composure. It isn't the same Christine who once smiled brightly on television. This version of her carries the calm of someone who's already survived the worst pain imaginable. The judge enters, and the murmurs die down. Cameras aren't allowed inside today, but the energy feels like the entire world is watching anyway. 4 years, their story played out in front of millions, but this is no longer a show. This is real, and someone will lose everything by the end of it. Christine's lawyer, a woman with sharp eyes and a voice like steel, rises first. Your Honor, today isn't just about money or property. This is about years of deception, manipulation, and broken trust. She glances toward Kody, whose jaw tightens even more. We'll show that my client was systematically cut off, financially, emotionally, and spiritually, by a man who used love as control. The words sting because they're true. Kody's hand twitches, gripping a pen he never uses. He glances toward Robyn sitting behind him in the gallery, her eyes already shimmering with tears. Meri and Janelle are there too, though far apart, each sitting like a ghost of the woman she once was. Sometimes the silence in a courtroom says more than any testimony ever could. Christine sits perfectly still, but inside her heart races. It's surreal being here, facing the man she once called her eternal husband. Memories flood in, moments that feel like lifetimes ago. She remembers when Kody would laugh easily, when his love seemed endless, when they built dreams under the vast Arizona sky. But somewhere between building homes and managing hearts, he began to drift, not physically at first, but emotionally. She felt it the way a mother senses a storm before the clouds even form. The lawyer's words fade into the background as Christine drifts into a flashback. It's late evening in Flagstaff. The wind hums softly through the trees. Christine stands by the kitchen counter, stirring a pot of soup. The air smells of time and exhaustion. Kody walks in, his face already set in frustration. "Why do you always make everything about emotions, Christine?" he says, throwing his keys on the table. She looks at him, her eyes soft but tired. "'Cause emotions are everything, Kody. That's what family is. You don't see us anymore. You just see problems to fix." He laughs, but it's hollow. "You're being dramatic. I see you. I see all of you. I'm just trying to hold this family together." Christine looks at him carefully. "No, Kody. You're trying to control it. There's a difference." The spoon slips from her hand, clattering onto the counter. That sound, sharp, final, feels like a small breaking point. It's strange how love doesn't die in an explosion. Sometimes it just fades with every unspoken word. Back in the courtroom, Christine blinks the memory away. Her lawyer continues, methodically presenting receipts and messages, evidence of uneven financial decisions. Bank transfers, property titles, documents showing how Kody's name stayed on everything while Christine's disappeared from the books. Kody's lawyer finally stands, adjusting his tie. "Your Honor, what we have here is a family dispute dressed up as a legal case. My client has always acted in the best interest of all his wives. These accusations, he gestures toward Christine, are emotional distortions, not legal violations. Christine's lips press together. The judge leans forward, unimpressed. We'll see if that's the case, counselor. Proceed. Courtroom lights hum overhead. Tension grows thicker. Every time Kody opens his mouth, Christine's face reveals 1,000 quiet memories. Every word he says now sounds like manipulation because she's heard it all before. Robyn watches anxiously, her eyes darting between them. She once believed love could survive anything. But now even she can feel it, the collapse of something once sacred. She reaches for Kody's hand, but he doesn't move. The air between them feels colder than ever. When the person you trusted the most becomes your opponent, the truth feels like a weapon. Christine's lawyer calls her to the stand. The room falls still. Christine rises slowly, her steps measured, almost ceremonial. She places her hand on the Bible, swears to tell the truth, and sits. Her voice is calm. I didn't want this. I wanted peace. I wanted my children to see their father without pain. But when you live with years of emotional control, you forget what peace feels like. She pauses, her eyes glancing toward Kody. He told me I was ungrateful, that I didn't appreciate the family. But how do you appreciate someone who only loves you when you obey? Her words ripple through the courtroom like electricity. Janelle looks down, biting her lip. Meri's eyes fill with tears. Even Robyn seems unsure whether to defend Kody or shrink into her seat. Kody's lawyer interrupts. Mrs. Brown, isn't it true that you agreed to the plural marriage dynamic? That you understood the sacrifices involved? Christine exhales. Yes, I agreed. But I didn't agree to lose myself. The silence that follows is heavy. The judge nods slowly, taking notes. Somewhere in the back row, a spectator whispers, "This is heartbreaking," and the bailiff hushes them immediately. Truth doesn't just hurt, it echoes. And in this courtroom, every echo finds a heart to break. Kody fidgets, his leg bouncing under the table. He's used to control, to being the one who commands the narrative. But here, the story is out of his hands. Every accusation feels like a mirror showing him the man he's become. Not the leader he imagined, but the destroyer of his own home. He can't stop thinking about Robyn. She was supposed to be the balance, the reason his family stayed united. But her presence had done the opposite. She gave him comfort, yes, but also created walls the other wives couldn't climb over. Christine's lawyer paces the floor. Mrs. Brown, could you describe the moment you realized your marriage was over? Christine hesitates. Then she says softly, "It was the day I told him I didn't feel loved anymore, and he didn't even look up from his phone." A small gasp spreads through the courtroom. Even Kody looks wounded for a second, but pride hardens his face quickly. "That's not true," he mutters under his breath. Her lawyer nods gently. "Thank you, Christine." No further questions. Kody's attorney stands again. "Your Honor, I'd like to recall my client for a brief clarification." Kody rises, adjusting his suit jacket. His voice trembles slightly, but he masks it with defiance. "Christine is exaggerating. I loved her. I loved all my wives equally. But she wanted to destroy what we built. She turned the others against me." He looks toward Janelle, then Meri, then Robyn. None of them meet his eyes. The judge interjects calmly. "Mr. Brown, please stick to the question." Kody swallows hard. "I did what I thought was right. I gave everything I had. Sometimes the most dangerous lies are the ones we tell ourselves to survive the truth." Christine lowers her gaze, emotions swelling in her throat. The years of silence, the years of trying, all flashing before her like ghosts she can't escape. She wonders if Kody will ever understand how lonely it felt being part of a family that stopped seeing her. Side storm clouds gather. Rain begins tapping softly against the courthouse windows, as if the world itself mourns what's happening inside. The session drags on with evidence, testimony, financial charts, but the real drama is in the unspoken words, the looks, the shifting faces. This isn't just legal warfare, it's emotional archaeology. Every word digs deeper into years of hurt. Then, just when it seems to settle, Christine's lawyer pauses mid-sentence. She opens her briefcase, pulling out a single envelope, crisp, sealed, marked confidential. "Your Honor," she says, her tone shifting to something grave. "Before we rest our case, there's one more document that needs to be entered into evidence." Kody's expression changes instantly. His skin pales, his hands tighten on the table. He leans forward, whispering harshly to his lawyer, but the mic picks up fragments. "She can't have that, it was sealed, how did she?" The judge raises an eyebrow. "Mr. Brown, is there a problem?" Kody shakes his head, forcing composure. "No, Your Honor." Christine doesn't move. She just watches him, silent, knowing, powerful. The lawyer places the envelope on the table for the judge. The sound of paper sliding across what feels like thunder rolling in the distance. The judge looks at it, then at Kody. "We'll take a short recess before reviewing this." The gavel strikes. The sound echoes through the courtroom, final, haunting. Kody stays seated for a moment, staring blankly at the envelope. His mind races. Whatever is in there could destroy him, not just legally but personally. The past he thought he'd buried may finally be crawling back into the light. Christine stands, turning toward the door. For the first time in years, she feels a strange calm settle inside her chest. The courtroom feels different after the recess, heavier, darker, like the air itself knows what's coming. Kody returns to his seat, his steps slower, more cautious. Confident posture he had earlier is gone. His hands tremble slightly as he places them on the table. Across from him, Christine looks collected, almost serene. The envelope sits between them on the judge's desk like a sleeping grenade, seconds away from detonating. No one speaks. Even the journalists in the back have stopped typing. The judge adjusts his glasses, breaks the seal, and carefully unfolds the papers inside. The faint sound of paper rustling fills the silence, each turn of a page drawing every heartbeat tighter. Christine doesn't blink. She already knows what's inside. She's lived with this truth for too long. But Kody, he's reliving every mistake, every secret, every deal he thought would stay hidden. Finally, the judge looks up. "Mr. Brown," he begins slowly, "can you explain these financial transfers? These documents show a series of large movements between family accounts, and several in your fourth wife's name. Mrs. Robyn Brown." Courtroom stirs. Robyn's head snaps up, her lips parting in shock. "What?" she whispers. "What transfers?" Kody's lawyer shifts uncomfortably. "Your Honor, we request a moment to review the contents before any assumptions are," the judge cuts him off. "The documents are legitimate, counsel. Signed, dated, and witnessed." He turns back toward Christine. "Mrs. Brown, would you please clarify how you came into possession of these?" Christine's voice is steady, but there's a quiet ache beneath it. "I found them after he left one of our shared accounts open by mistake. I wasn't looking to hurt him. I was looking for the truth." A gasp rolls through the courtroom. Robyn looks at Kody, desperate for an explanation. "You said those were temporary transfers, Kody," she says under her breath. "You told me it was just for taxes." He doesn't answer. His eyes dart toward the lawyer, toward the judge, anywhere but hers. When secrets start falling apart, they never do it quietly. They tear through every lie like fire through dry wood. Christine's lawyer steps forward. "Your Honor, these transfers total nearly $600,000, moved from joint family assets into a private trust controlled solely by Mr. Brown and Mrs. Robyn Brown. None of the other wives were aware." The judge nods grimly. "And this occurred while the family's communal funds were depleted, correct?" "Yes, Your Honor." During that same time, Christine was denied requests for maintenance and education expenses for her children. Robyn's voice breaks. "That's not true." Kody, tell them it's not true. Kody finally looks at her, his face drained of color. Robyn, please, just stop. Her hands fall into her lap. Tears roll freely down her cheeks now, mascara tracing dark rivers across her skin. Courtroom is utterly silent except for the distant hum of the ceiling fans. Christine looks down, unable to watch Robyn crumble, but it's not sympathy. It's grief. Grief for everything this family could have been before it became about power. The judge clears his throat. Mr. Brown, are you denying the authenticity of these documents? Kody's voice is low. No, I'm not denying them. But there's more to it. You don't understand, then help us understand, the judge interrupts. Kody exhales sharply, looking cornered. It wasn't theft. It was protection. I was trying to save what was left of the family's assets. Christine was threatening to leave. She said she wanted out, and I knew if she did, everything would fall apart. So yes, I moved the funds, but it was to secure stability for everyone. Christine's lawyer scoffs. For everyone, or just for Robyn? Kody's eyes flash. You don't know what you're talking about. Christine finally speaks. I know exactly what I'm talking about, Kody. You told me I was being selfish for leaving. But you were already preparing to leave us, all of us, long before that. He slams his hand on the table. That's not true. The gavel pounds once. Order! The judge shouts. The room settles again, but the energy doesn't. The vibrates, raw, electric, dangerous. There's a moment in every trial when the truth stops whispering and starts screaming. This was that moment. Christine continues, her voice trembling now. You made us believe we were equals. You said this family was about faith and unity. But you built a system that only served you and Robyn. You told me to trust you with our lives, and you took that trust straight to the bank. Kody looks shattered. The bravado is gone. His eyes flicker toward his other wives, searching for someone, anyone, to defend him. But Meri looks away. Janelle stares straight ahead, expression unreadable. Christine's lawyer hands the judge another paper. This is a written statement from Janelle Brown confirming that she was also unaware of the financial decisions made by Mr. Brown. It supports Christine's claim of deception. Kody looks toward Janelle, hurt flashing across his face. You too. Janelle hesitates, then speaks softly. Kody, I wanted to believe you were doing the right thing. But we built this family on trust, and that trust is gone. He leans back in his chair, eyes closing. You're all turning on me, he whispers. The judge folds his hands. Mr. Brown, this isn't about who's turning on who. It's about accountability. Robyn starts to sob quietly. Her shoulders shake as she whispers to herself. It wasn't supposed to go this far. We were just supposed to protect the family. Christine glances at her, confusion flickering in her eyes. What do you mean, Robyn? Robyn shakes her head, not answering. Her lips tremble as she covers her mouth with her hand. Mrs. Brown, the judge says gently, if you have something to share with the court, now is the time. Robyn looks at Kody, tears pooling in her eyes. Kody, please. Tell them the truth before I have to. He glares at her. Don't. Tension is unbearable. Christine leans forward slightly, her pulse hammering in her ears. Whatever this is, it's bigger than money. Closer you get to the truth, the louder fear starts to whisper. Robyn's voice cracks. There's an agreement. A private one. Between me and Kody. It wasn't supposed to be public. Christine's lawyer raises an eyebrow. What kind of agreement? Robyn's eyes dart to Kody. A legal one. He transferred ownership of certain family assets into my name. But he said it was just for safety. He said if things ever went bad, at least one of us would be protected. Christine feels her stomach twist. So while we were fighting for our marriage, you two were signing papers behind our backs? Robyn sobs harder. I didn't mean to hurt anyone. I just believed him. He said it was temporary. Kody stands abruptly, his chair screeching against the floor. Enough, Robyn, he shouts. You're not helping. The judge slams the gavel again. Mr. Brown, sit down or I'll have you removed. Kody hesitates, then sinks back into his seat, breathing heavily. His hands cover his face, fingers trembling. The judge looks toward Christine. Mrs. Brown, based on these revelations, will proceed with a deeper audit of the family's financial structure. This will include all accounts under Mr. Brown's and Mrs. Robyn Brown's names. Christine nods silently, her heart pounding with a mix of victory and sorrow. She didn't come here to humiliate him, she came to find the truth. But the truth has a cost, and she can feel every ounce of it now. Across the aisle, Kody looks defeated, yet something in his expression flickers, a quiet fury, a calculation. Christine sees it, and her chest tightens. He's not done. Sometimes the real danger begins right after you think you've won. The session begins to close. The judge announces that the next hearing will review the new financial audit and any related agreements. As everyone starts to stand, Robyn stays seated, frozen in her guilt. Kody doesn't look at anyone as he gathers his papers. Christine watches him leave the courtroom, a chill running through her as she notices the faintest smirk on his lips. Something about that smile doesn't fit the man who just lost everything. It's not defeat, it's strategy. Side, the reporters swarm the hallway, shouting questions. Christine, how does it feel to expose the truth? She doesn't answer. Her mind is somewhere else, replaying Robyn's words. It wasn't supposed to go this far. She knows now this case isn't just about money. There's something deeper, darker, something that still hasn't come to light. And when she looks back through the glass window, she sees Robyn whispering frantically to Kody as they walk away. Whatever they're hiding, it's only the beginning. The next morning, the courthouse feels like the eye of a storm that refuses to move on. Reporters crowd the front steps, cameras flashing, microphones raised like weapons waiting to capture the next hit. Inside, the air is cold, sharp with tension. The smell of coffee lingers, the kind that's been poured out of nervousness, not habit. Kody walks in first, wearing a black suit instead of his usual brown. Symbolic, or maybe it's just practical, but either way it catches attention. His face looks carved out of stone. He doesn't speak to anyone, not even Robyn, who follows close behind with red, swollen eyes. Christine arrives a few minutes later, wearing a soft gray dress, calm but clearly exhausted. Meri and Janelle sit quietly in the second row again, side by side this time, something that hasn't happened in years. The judge enters and everyone stands. When the gavel hits, it's like the sound of a clock striking midnight, marking the moment the truth must come out. The clerk announces, case resuming, Brown versus Brown. Subject, continuation of financial disclosure and testimony from Mrs. Robyn Brown. Robyn's name echoes across the courtroom like a bell tolling in slow motion. Her eyes dart toward Kody, pleading for reassurance, but he doesn't look up. He knows what's coming. He can feel it tightening around his chest like a noose. Robyn stands, trembling as she makes her way to the witness stand. She looks smaller today, her voice fragile when she swears to tell the truth. Christine watches her carefully. There's pain in Robyn's expression, not just guilt but something deeper, almost haunted. The judge nods. Mrs. Brown, you indicated yesterday that you and your husband entered into a private legal agreement regarding family finances. We'll need you to clarify that in full detail today. Robyn takes a shaky breath. Yes, Your Honor. We did. Her lawyer rises, handing her a document. Mrs. Brown, can you tell the court what this is? She nods faintly. It's a trust agreement. Kody and I signed it about 2 years ago. It transferred the ownership of certain assets, including the main family home, into my name. A collective gasp spreads across the room. Even Christine, who thought she was prepared, feels her stomach twist. Janelle's mouth drops open slightly. Meri looks down, blinking fast to hold back tears. Every secret confessed in court has a heartbeat. And right now, this one is pounding loud enough for everyone to feel it. Christine's lawyer leans forward. Mrs. Brown, can you explain why this transfer was made? What was the intent? Robyn's hands shake as she grips the stand. Kody told me it was for protection. He said Christine was unstable, that she might take the family's assets if she ever left. He said the other wives didn't understand finances, and I should be the one to keep things safe. Christine feels a flash of heat rise in her chest. Unstable, she whispers under her breath, anger cracking through her calm. Kody stares down, refusing to meet anyone's eyes. Robyn continues, voice trembling. I didn't question it. I just signed what he told me to sign. I believed he was trying to protect everyone. The judge nods slowly. And when you learned that these funds were being used to exclude the other wives from ownership, did you ever confront Mr. Brown? Robyn hesitates. I tried. But he said it was temporary. He said he'd fix it later. Christine's lawyer crosses her arms. Did he ever fix it? Robyn's lip trembles. No, there's a silence so deep it almost hums. Christine's heart feels heavy, not just with anger but with exhaustion. All these years, all that talk about unity and faith, and behind it all was paperwork meant to divide. Kody's lawyer rises abruptly. Your Honor, if I may. But before he can continue, Robyn interrupts softly. There's more. Every eye turns toward her. Even the judge leans forward slightly. Robyn swallows hard. There was another document. One that wasn't supposed to exist. Kody finally looks up, his face pale. Robyn. Don't. Her eyes glisten as she turns toward him. I can't keep lying for you, Kody. When love turns into guilt, the truth becomes the only way to breathe again. Robyn pulls out a folded paper from her purse, hands trembling. This is a handwritten agreement Kody made me sign before we filed the trust. It's not notarized, but it's real. The judge motions for her to hand it over. The bailiff takes it, bringing it to the bench. Courtroom watches as the judge reads quietly for several long seconds. Then his brow furrows deeply. Mr. Brown, he says slowly, is this your handwriting? Kody doesn't answer. Mr. Brown. The judge repeats. Finally, Kody exhales. Yes, it's mine. The judge looks up, eyes stern. This document states that if the family were ever to separate, all assets, including properties, businesses, and accounts, would default to Robyn Brown exclusively. Is that correct? A wave of shock rolls through the room. Christine's breath catches. Meri covers her mouth. Even the reporters in the back seem stunned into silence. Kody straightens, his voice trembling with forced calm. It wasn't meant to be binding. It was a contingency, a way to make sure Robyn wasn't left homeless if things went bad. That's all. Christine stands up abruptly, her lawyer's hand reaching to steady her, but she can't sit anymore. You gave her everything, she says, her voice breaking. You said you loved all of us, but you gave her everything. The gavel slams down. Mrs. Brown, please control yourself. But Christine can't stop now. Years of pain pour out all at once. You told us we were equals, Kody. You made us believe this family was forever, and while we were struggling to pay bills, you were signing our lives away behind our backs. Kody's composure cracks. You left me, Christine. What did you expect me to do? You tore the family apart. She points at him, tears in her eyes. No, Kody. You did. The moment you stopped seeing us as wives and started seeing us as numbers in a ledger. Sometimes the truth doesn't destroy love, it reveals it was gone long ago. The judge calls for order, but the courtroom is alive with whispers now. Porters scribble furiously. Meri wipes her tears. Janelle sits motionless, her face unreadable but her jaw set tight, a storm brewing behind her calm eyes. Robyn, meanwhile, can barely speak. "I didn't want any of this," she murmurs. "I thought I was protecting the family, not destroying it." Christine looks at her, voice gentler now. "You weren't protecting us, Robyn. You were protecting him." The judge interjects firmly, "Enough. We'll recess for 10 minutes before resuming cross-examination." The gavel hits, but no one moves right away. It feels like everyone's too stunned to breathe. Christine turns away, walking slowly toward the hallway. Janelle follows, her footsteps echoing. In the corridor, away from the cameras, Janelle whispers, "He really gave her everything." Christine nods, tears slipping down her cheeks. "He didn't just give her the money. He gave her all of us." Back inside, Robyn sits alone on the witness stand, staring down at her hands. She whispers to herself, "It wasn't supposed to go this far." "He promised me." Kody leans toward his lawyer, his voice low and urgent. "We have to stop this before the next document comes out." His lawyer frowns. "What document?" Kody glances nervously toward the door. "Meri has something. If she talks, everything's over. Every secret has a shadow, and the darker it is, the harder it fights to stay hidden." The recess ends. The judge calls everyone back. Christine and Janelle re-enter, composed but shaken. Meri follows quietly, her expression unreadable. As they all take their seats, the air feels different again, heavier, charged, almost electric. Robyn sits rigid on the stand, avoiding Kody's gaze now. She's said enough to crack his mask, but she knows what's coming next might break everything completely. Christine watches as Kody whispers something to his attorney, his lips barely moving. He's planning something, she can feel it. The judge clears his throat. "Before we proceed, is there any additional evidence either side wishes to present?" For a moment, no one moves. Then, from the gallery, a voice says softly, "Yes, Your Honor. I have something to present." All eyes turn toward the sound. It's Meri. She stands slowly, holding a thick folder in her hands. Her expression is calm, but her eyes, they're burning. Kody's face drains of all color. "Meri, don't." She looks at him, her voice steady. "You should have told the truth, Kody. You should have told all of it." The judge gestures her forward. "Mrs. Meri Brown, please bring it to the bench." As Meri walks toward the judge, Christine's breath catches. She doesn't know what's in that folder, but the way Kody's trembling now tells her it's something big. She glances at Janelle, whispering, "He's terrified." Janelle nods slowly. "He should be." And as Meri lays the folder on the judge's desk, Kody grips the table with both hands, knuckles white. Whatever is inside that folder, it's about to change everything. Because sometimes the final betrayal doesn't come from an enemy, it comes from the one who stayed silent the longest. The courtroom feels colder today, not from the weather outside, but from the air of what's coming. It's the 4th day of testimony, and by now, every face in the gallery looks drawn, tense, sleepless. The reporters aren't whispering anymore, they're waiting. Everyone knows what's next. Meri Brown stands near the witness stand, holding the folder that silenced the room yesterday. Her hands don't shake. For once, she looks steady, calm in a way that almost frightens Kody. He doesn't sit. He paces. His jaw tightens and releases, a muscle twitching each time he glances toward Meri. Robyn is seated behind him, her eyes red and hollow. Christine sits on the other side, beside Janelle, their faces unreadable but brimming with quiet expectation. The judge looks at Meri. "Mrs. Brown, please state what this new evidence contains." Meri opens the folder slowly. "These are property records, tax filings, and 3 deeds, all tied to land in Coyote Pass, Arizona." Courtroom stirs. Even the stenographer pauses her typing for a moment. Meri continues, voice firm but heavy with emotion. "This land was supposed to belong to the family. All of us. Kody promised it would be split equally. We believed him." She glances toward Kody, just a flicker of a look, sharp and tired. But these documents show that 2 years ago, Kody transferred the entire parcel into a private LLC. One registered under his name and Robyn's. Robyn's lips part slightly, whispering, "No, that's not possible." Christine's lawyer stands immediately. "Your Honor, we'd like these entered into evidence." The judge nods. The bailiff retrieves them. The sound of papers shifting echoes through the room. Kody finally speaks, his voice low and strained. "This is a misunderstanding. It's business. The LLC was just for convenience." Meri turns toward him, her voice breaking slightly for the first time. "Convenience? You called me family for 30 years, Kody. You let me believe I had a place in that dream. I put my savings into that land, every penny I had. And you erased me with one signature. Sometimes silence isn't peace, it's the sound of someone breaking slowly." Christine looks at her, tears welling. Janelle's jaw tightens. She'd suspected this, but seeing it in black and white makes it real, permanent. The judge flips through the documents, brow furrowed. "Mr. Brown, it appears this LLC was formed months before the supposed joint family investment announcement. That would indicate premeditation. Do you have any explanation for that?" Kody exhales sharply. "I was managing risk. The family was falling apart. I had to think about the long term." "Whose long term?" Christine cuts in. "Ours or yours?" Kody shoots her a glare. "You left, Christine. You gave up on us." She rises slowly. "No, Kody. I gave up on you. There's a difference. Every courtroom has a moment when truth stops being evidence and becomes confession." The judge bangs the gavel. "Order." Meri steps closer, voice steady now. "Your Honor, I also have correspondence between Mr. Brown and a real estate consultant. Emails. He was planning to sell portions of that land privately, to buyers outside the family." Gasps ripple through the courtroom. Janelle leans forward. "You were going to sell Coyote Pass?" She whispers, disbelief in her tone. "After all those years of promises?" Kody's voice hardens. "You don't understand the pressure I was under. The finances. The publicity. The betrayal," Meri interrupts softly. "We understood more than you ever gave us credit for." The judge studies Kody carefully. "Mr. Brown, this is serious. Selling assets that were presented to others as joint investments could constitute fraud under family law statutes." Kody's lawyer shifts uncomfortably, whispering something into his ear, but Kody waves him off. His temper is beginning to crack through the thin layer of calm. "Fraud," he spits. "You're calling me a fraud? I held this family together for decades while everyone turned on me. I sacrificed everything." Christine stands again, her voice trembling with fury. "You sacrificed us, Kody. You used us until you didn't need us anymore." The gavel slams again, louder this time. "Mrs. Brown, please," but the words drown under the emotional storm already raging. Robyn finally stands, tears streaking her face. "Stop it. All of you. He didn't mean to hurt anyone. He was trying to fix what was broken." Christine turns to her, her voice soft but raw. "He broke it, Robyn. And you helped him cover it up." The silence that follows is deafening. Love doesn't vanish in an instant. It decays slowly under the weight of lies. The judge finally exhales, rubbing his temples. "We'll take a recess before I review these new documents." He rises and exits. The moment the gavel hits, Kody slams his hand on the table. "You had no right to bring those documents, Meri." She faces him fully, no fear in her eyes. "You had no right to destroy what we built." He steps closer. "You think this makes you righteous? You think they'll love you again for this?" Her voice trembles but stays calm. "No, Kody. I just wanted the truth to be heard." Christine and Janelle walk over. Christine puts a hand on Meri's shoulder. You did the right thing. Janelle nods. You finally did what we all should have done years ago. Meri looks between them, her voice breaking. I was so afraid. Afraid of losing everything, of losing him. But I already had. Robyn stands off to the side, whispering to Kody. We can fix this. We just need to explain, he shakes his head sharply. It's too late. Robyn's tears spill over. Then tell them, Kody. Tell them what really happened. Tell them about the agreement. Kody says in. Don't. But Robyn doesn't stop. Tell them about the investor. The one who was never supposed to know the truth. Christine freezes. Investor. Janelle's brow furrows. What investor? Robyn looks at the floor, her voice small. Someone outside the family. Kody made a deal. It wasn't just land, it was leverage. Kody slams his hand on the table. Enough, Robyn. The room goes dead silent. Meri stares at him. Who did you make a deal with, Kody? He doesn't answer. Christine steps closer, her tone low and dangerous. You said this was about protecting family. Who did you sell us out to? Kody exhales shakily, his composure unraveling completely now. It wasn't supposed to go this way. Robyn whispers, almost to herself. You said they'd never find out. Kody turns on her, anger flaring. I did it for us. For you. But it's too late. His words echo in the chamber like a confession. Every lie eventually finds its echo, and when it does, it screams. The judge re-enters moments later, the room snapping back into silence. Court is back in session. He looks directly at Kody. Mr. Brown, based on the evidence and statements presented, I'll be requesting a full forensic audit of all shared assets. If additional deception is found, criminal charges could follow. Christine closes her eyes, finally breathing for what feels like the first time. Meri squeezes her hand. Janelle looks toward Robyn, not with anger anymore, but with something that almost resembles pity. The judge gathers his papers. We'll resume tomorrow for closing arguments and verdict proceedings. He strikes the gavel. As everyone stands, Kody stays seated. His hands grip the edge of the table, knuckles white, eyes unfocused. The family he built, the family he tried to control, now stands united against him. Christine turns toward the door, whispering, Tomorrow it ends! But as they leave, Kody looks up, eyes wild, almost desperate. He whispers to himself, Not yet. They don't know everything. The final day. Courthouse buzzes with a low, uneasy hum, reporters filling every seat, cameras flashing outside like a storm of light. The weight of 4 days of revelations hangs over the room like smoke that refuses to clear. Everyone knows today will end it all, one way or another. Kody Brown sits alone at the defense table, shoulders squared but eyes hollow. Gone is the confidence that once filled every room he entered. Robyn sits behind him, her face pale, her hands trembling, clutching tissues she hasn't used yet. Christine, Janelle, and Meri sit together across the aisle, not as wives anymore, but as witnesses to the truth. The judge enters. Court is now in session. His voice echoes through the silence. Christine's lawyer stands. Your Honor, before closing arguments, we'd like to present one final document discovered overnight during the court-ordered asset audit. Kody's head jerks up. His lawyer whispers sharply, What document? But no answer comes. A folder is handed to the bailiff, then to the judge. He scans it briefly, brows rising. Mr. Brown, this appears to be an unreported legal agreement between yourself and a private investor named Daniel Brooks. The room tightens. The judge continues, according to this contract, you sold partial ownership of the Coyote Pass property, not for the family's benefit, but for a personal development project under your name. Christine's breath catches. You sold our land? Kody's voice cracks as he speaks. I didn't sell it. I leveraged it for capital. To keep us afloat. Meri shakes her head. You didn't keep us afloat, Kody. You drowned us so you could stay standing. When people break your trust, it's not the loss that hurts most, it's realizing they never valued it at all. The judge adjusts his glasses. This agreement was signed 18 months before Christine's separation, meaning it was concealed during your joint filing for financial consolidation. That is concealment of assets, potentially a felony. Kody slams his hands down. You think I'm a criminal? You think after everything I gave, after everything I sacrificed, that I would do that to my family? Christine rises slowly, voice trembling but clear. Yes, Kody. That's exactly what we think. Because you already did. Janelle wipes away a tear, her voice barely above a whisper. You made us believe we were part of something sacred, something unbreakable. But it was just your empire, your control. Kody turns toward her, anger flaring again. Don't twist this. You all turned your backs on me first. You never followed my leadership, never respected my role. Meri stands, voice sharp. You stopped being a leader when you stopped listening, Kody. You wanted followers, not wives. The most dangerous lies are the ones told with love still in your voice. The judge finally speaks again, tone stern. That's enough. Mr. Brown, do you have anything to say before the court delivers its decision? For a long moment, Kody says nothing. Courtroom waits. Even the air feels like it's holding its breath. Then, softly, he begins to speak. You think I wanted this? Any of this? I built this family with my own hands. I tried to create something beautiful, something eternal. But you, all of you, tore it apart. Christine's eyes glisten. No, Kody. You tried to own it. There's a difference. His voice rises. You think you're saints? You think walking away makes you better? You left me when I needed you most. Meri steps closer. You pushed us away long before we left. He glares at her, then looks at Robyn. His last ally, the one he thought would never turn. But she doesn't meet his gaze. Robyn's voice is barely audible. Kody, they're right. We went too far. His eyes flash with disbelief. You. He whispers. You too. She nods, tears falling. I still love you. But I can't defend what you did anymore. Kody looks shattered. For the first time, he looks small, a man surrounded not by wives but by ghosts of his own choices. Sometimes the greatest punishment isn't losing, it's finally seeing yourself clearly. The judge clears his throat. In light of the evidence presented, the concealed assets, the financial misconduct, and the emotional and material harm caused, this court finds Mr. Kody Brown liable for breach of fiduciary duty, concealment, and fraudulent misrepresentation. The words hit like thunder. The property known as Coyote Pass will be seized and divided among the plaintiffs, Christine, Meri, and Janelle Brown, in equal portions. Mr. Brown is also ordered to pay restitution for misappropriated funds. Robyn bursts into tears. Kody just sits, eyes empty. He doesn't react, as though the verdict was inevitable. The judge continues. Court is adjourned. The gavel falls for the last time. Christine exhales shakily, as if the years of pain finally found a release. Janelle hugs her. Meri stands apart, watching Kody, not with anger but with a strange sadness. He finally speaks, barely a whisper. After everything, I still loved you all. Christine looks at him, voice trembling but strong. We loved you too, Kody. But love isn't ownership. It's respect. And you lost that long before today. Justice doesn't always heal the wounds, sometimes it just stops the bleeding. The women walk out together, their steps slow but certain. Side cameras flash like lightning as they exit into the daylight, free but forever changed. Inside the courtroom, Kody remains seated, staring at the empty chairs where his family once sat. The echoes of their voices linger, like ghosts that refuse to fade. He leans back, whispering to himself, "You think it's over, but they don't know everything." Camera lingers on his face, broken, bitter, unreadable. 'Cause even when a verdict is final, the truth can still have one last secret waiting to surface. Now I want to hear from you. After everything they've been through, do you believe forgiveness is still possible for Kody Brown? Or has the line been crossed for good? Let me know in the comments below.